Well, huge changes have gone ahead to be made at Man United, and we now have a new CEO as waiting for Omar Berrada, and it looks like it's huge decision-making time at the club of Man United. Welcome to the United Matters channel. It's the 1st of May 2024, Labor Day, and happy Labour's Day to all the workers around the world that really work hard to see to it that this world really keeps going, because the working chain is really very important. That if one of those is out, that working chain can really have some problems of not really transcending on very well. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. Let's see close to 300 likes much in this video as we obviously come close to what we call the decision-making time at the club of Man United. Eric Ten Hag, the players that are set to leave, and those that are supposed to come in through. And today, Manchester United have gone ahead to issue a very big statement that read as follows: that Man United have made 2 further changes to its executive leadership by mutual consent. Patrick Stewart, Interim CEO, and Cliff Betty, Chief Financial Officer, have decided to leave the club at the end of the season. Patrick will be replaced by CEO Jean-Claude Blanc until the arrival of Omar Berrada on 13th of July. Cliff Betty will be replaced as CFO by Roger Bell. Now, when you look at these 2 positions that Man United have gone ahead to obviously get out the interims, one was the interim and the other one's really sitting person. They're really very important when it comes to obviously making decisions, because a CEO always signs onto that document when you're sacking someone, or when you're really bringing in a player, a CEO has to sign. And if you are trying to obviously sign a new contract with a player, the CEO of the club has to sign, and I think is the main signatory. So, and the other head or chief financial officer has to approve that the books of Man United can obviously allow this to happen, and he has to have a signatory onto those contracts too, because they have what we call financial implications. So this is really a very huge move made by the club of Man United, because they know to it that where they are heading to, these people are going to be so much important in making decisions. Remember, we have players that are going to be leaving on the 30th of June as free agents, you understand. Then we have those that are left with 1 year on their contracts, right? And we have those whose contracts are supposed to be renegotiated, and we even have those whose contracts are supposed to be really improved. That is it. So as it stands at the club of Man United, you understand that Jean-Claude is going to be the acting CEO. And if I told you to it that we've gone ahead to shift from the club that has always not gone ahead to obviously be very, very, very good at decision making, to a club that has gone ahead to make some huge decisions, right? For example, Man United never wanted to be having an interim who is not part of the in-your side. Why? They want to be responsible for everything that's going to have to happen at the club of Man United. That is it. Jean-Claude, him being a CEO, it's not the very first time he's operating as a CEO. I told you, he had already gone ahead to act as a CEO at Bayern Munich, at Juventus. You remember that very well. And after having gone ahead to work as a CEO at Juventus, he was given a role to run the club of PSG. So he has what we call a vast experience to obviously be the interim CEO until the 13th of July when Omar Berrada comes in through. Why is it important obviously getting Jean-Claude as the interim CEO who knows exactly what this means? It's because of how Man United wanted to operate into the summer transfer window. Remember, Man United are going to be using the CEO and Jason Willox to obviously negotiate the deals of the players coming in through and the players leaving the club of Man United. That is it. So if you're going to negotiate, you need a competent person to do the job. And with Omar Berrada having until 13th July to join Man United, that means we'll need to wait 1 month after the summer transfer window opens officially to sign players, because a CEO has to be really having a mandate onto which player comes in through and an agreement. So that means we needed to be having a competent person in there to really run that business, and Jean-Claude is going to be at its helm. However much Omar Berrada will be working in the background, but Jean-Claude will take center stage, and Jason Willox obviously get in the players that we are really looking at and targeting as a club of Man United, which is something important, as we are having people who know how this job really works. They're really good at their job, their past experience is really great, and it shows you exactly how things really happen. And it shows you how tricky Man City are, because they know that you let Omar Berrada start operating early enough before even the season starts or ends at the club of Man United, he's going to really overturn United into a better side. So what they did was, let's obviously kill off the first month of the summer transfer window and see to it that we release him officially to join Man United as their CEO after that month. So it shows you that City are afraid of the changes that are really happening at Man United. And I tell you, many people are really afraid of the changes that are really happening at the club of Man United. And I tell you what, it should be noted that we are going to become a threat. And everyone who thought that Erik ten Hag is the manager, or the players are the problem, you are going to see a very huge change at the club of Man United after these changes take course. Why? These people are really going to be having huge demands, and those huge demands will obviously be shown to the players. They will come out and tell the players, if you can't do ABCD, you're going to be thrown out of this club. That is it. That's why the likes of Man City will have Kevin De Bruyne, even at the age of 32, 33, still performing at that level. You get Ilkay Gundogan. He was in his early 30s, but look at his performances. The Riyad Mahrez of this world. Look at teams like Liverpool. All their players are really working hard because they know the demands of the club. So, let's see this club take shape. And as it takes shape, we should be really very positive about what is set to happen at the club of Man United. I tell you, it's really going to be a very hard time for the players that are really going to start the club of Man United, because we can really quote the words of Omar Berrada. He gives the player 2 seasons, and if a player has been here for 2 seasons and really underperforming, it's high time he left. And when I see the likes of Rashford, dilly-dallying, on the pitch, and obviously downing tools, I ask myself, does he know of what is coming at Man United? Because what Ineos heads is to see to it that they are really paying players like Marcus Rashford 300 grand per week. Yet, on the field, it doesn't really get portrayed by the player. They would love to pay a player the amount of money that really suits him when that player obviously orchestrates it on the field of play. If you don't orchestrate it on the field of play, what's the reason of you coming in through to obviously put in a shift and really get that amount of money? So, I see lots of changes at the club of Man United. Concerning the manager Erik ten Hag, it's also very sounding, because if we have now a CEO that is part of Ineos, then decisions are going to be set to happen. I read a story yesterday that Manchester United is going to be getting, Man United is going to be getting it's going to be making their decision on Erik ten Hag after the FA Cup final. You get? So, we wait and see. But I know with Ineos, if they're going to sack Erik ten Hag right now, they would have already gone ahead to start talking with other managers. That is it. And I tell you, however secretive they are, there is no way they can hide from talking to managers. And there is no credible source that is going to come out and really tell us how this team or this team of Ineos is talking to another manager, meaning that they're looking out to continuing with Erik ten Hag and see how things are really going to pan out. Because the hugest story is, Eric Ten Hag will cost United close to £20 million if at all he gets sacked. And we are really having a problem with what we call money. And I think Omar Berrada will obviously do what Man City did. As we're preparing for the coming in of Pep Guardiola, you know what they did? They got in what we call, I think, was it Mancini or Pellegrini? One of those two managers was there, and they were buying players under the orders of Pep Guardiola. You understand? And the recruitment was nice. That's why Pep Guardiola, it never took him a lot, obviously hit the ground running. Now, I think if they are not interested in keeping Eric Ten Hag, they would like to obviously see him here and run his contract down and get in players that the manager they think is going to come in through to manage their project is getting ready for the next season of 2025-2026. That's what I think here onto the United Matters channel. So we wait and see how that pans out. But huge decisions are going to be commencing to be made at the club of Man United. Keep your eyes wide open. It's decision time. And I tell you, it's not going to be easy as you think. It's really going to be hard, as some of the players we love at the club of Man United might obviously be sold off. And others that we don't want, a decision might be taken that they're going to be kept at the club of Man United. You understand? So we just wait to see how this happens. But I'm really happy that we've gone ahead to make these two changes. And these two changes, however much one is really temporary, but it shows you that it's time to prepare for the summer transfer window. And we are taking shape. It's taking shape, and I trust Jean-Claude in that position. From now, today is the 1st of May. That means he's going to be in this position for the entire month of May, entire month of July, and a fortnight of July. Those are 2.5 months, right? So, but we all know that these people really have day-to-day charts on the club with Omar Berrada. That is it. And now Jason Willox has gone ahead to join the club of Man United to make such pure decisions. So I'm just excited. And if we take shape, whoever stays, whoever leaves, Ineos knows. I'll back Ineos. Whatever decision they decide to take, I'll back him. Even if they really say they're sacking Eric Ten Hag, I'll back them, because I've not come out and really complained about the managers being the problem of Man United ever since I started up this channel. I've always gone ahead to talk about the people at the top. You understand? Now we have the right people. If they want to build a new United project with a new manager, I'll second them, I'll support them, and I will never forsake them unless otherwise they make things that I believe are not really up to the standards. But I believe they are going to take us places. Next season, you're going to see a different United team altogether, with players who know that they have to produce to the best. If they don't, you'll see what will be done to them. Now, what has Joel Glazer going to say? He has said, I would like to thank Patrick and Cliff for their dedicated service to Man United and wish them well for the future. Both have been a source of invaluable advice and expertise over many years. And Patrick has served an important role as an interim CEO during this transitional phase. That is Joel Glazer. Obviously, he's the co-chairman of Man United, and his brothers in there for you. And then Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in through to obviously take center stage. Then Sir Jim Ratcliffe said, I would like to personally thank both Patrick and Cliff for their support in keeping us get to know the club and making us feel well, and respect their decisions to now move on as we establish a new management team for the club. Obviously, this club badly needed a new management to take it further. I tell you, Ineos and the new management is going to really give us wings. You know, in this world, if a bird is to fly, it needs to be having wings. Now we are a bird with no wings. We were wingless, and now the coming in of Ineos gives us wings to fly. And I tell you, we are going to really have a very good transition. I tell you, when you look at the plan of Ineos, all they want to do is to get in young players and they're really looking at the players that positions that we've always gone ahead to obviously talk about. And if those players coming through, I think we are gonna compete. That is it. It will be really a far-fetched to obviously talk about competing for the trophy, but if Arsenal had, if it took Arsenal to obviously, it took them like 2 seasons to prepare for they really competing for the trophies, and they never had a squad like Man United had. If we trim that squad and we're having the spine of that squad as Onana, Dallo, Lisandro Martinez, Kobe Mainoo, Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund. You get? Those are 6 players. So, if we add in more 5 into those players, okay, even Bruno Fernandes, if you add in more 5 into those players, I tell you, if we put in a very good consistent run, we can really compete for the trophy. Because right now we are having 50, are they 54 points, right? 54 points. And Arsenal is having 80. They're topping the Premier League table. How many points are those? 26 points ahead of Man United. But how many games have we gone ahead to lose, and how many games have we gone ahead to draw? I think we've gone ahead to lose not less than 13 games this season. Those are how many points? 39 points. Now, if we have a better squad, I don't think that we can lose all those games. All we can lose is like 5, and that will put us in the ilk of competing for the trophy. So if we can average 80 points next season, then we can really compete for the trophy. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Tell me your thoughts about the huge decision time at Man United. It's now decision-making time at the club of Man United as new changes take center stage in some of the most important departments of the incomings and outcomings. Good morning. Once again, happy Labor Day. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. To the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. We out.